President Chartrand, thanks for being with us. There are a lot of priority items for the MMF. One of the big ones is recognition, and that includes a commitment to honor the so-called modern-day treaty signed early this summer with the Liberals and provide funding to the tune of $30 million a year. Do you see this as the #1 priority for the MMF with whoever forms government?
Well, for us, the #1 priority is the land claim. Of course, it's a major victory. Took us 32 years in the courts to achieve that, and we finally were able to clearly showcase that Canada did not fulfill its constitutional obligation back in 1870, and that the land that was committed to our children and our families were stolen from us and actually taken from us. And the Supreme Court had made it very clear, in order to fix that, it should be a priority for this country. So I'm looking at the party platforms. I know Jagmeet Singh is committed to it. I know the Justin Trudeau is committed to it. He actually committed to it at our annual assembly. And we're actually started negotiations right now with the land claim. It's very important because it'll set the precedent for the future, and it'll set the preparation for the next generation economically and socially, and put the tools that's necessary to make sure that people can fulfill their dreams. So that is our #1 issue for sure. Of course, the modern day treaty is right up the same level of importance. So we signed our self-government agreement now with Canada. Without question, we are the government of the Métis people now in Manitoba, and the modern day treaty is about 95% finished in its negotiations. Now all we need is a government to ratify it in cabinet.
Can you give us a brief overview of some of the other main priorities?
Well, education, we've heard it loud and clear from our students. We now give, Daryl, one of the things that we've been proud of First Nations' successes in negotiating the ability to get education funds for post-secondary. Many of the First Nations in this country have advanced their generation by getting them their educational accomplishments and getting them into a very fruitful environment economically. So it has been a dream of ours and our families, and now we have a new commitment by Canada, a 10-year commitment for education, for post-secondary education. So we give our students now, Daryl, $5,000 per student going to university to help lower the costs that they'll inherit upon graduation. And we expect to grow that somewhat more in the years to come. But that's a very big priority for many of our young people. Another one's a micro business and small and medium. Indigenous people really don't, and Métis people are very entrepreneurial people. We really don't have big, massive businesses. Our success is in the medium and small. But what we don't see governments traditionally doing in short history, governments tend to go towards a social context of investment versus an economic investment. And you take a theme off the Bible. It says, "I'll feed you a fish." He said, "Don't feed me a fish. Show me how to catch a fish, and I'll feed myself." So that goes to the context, I think, for Indigenous people also. We want, as Métis people, we're entrepreneurial. We've always been. Give us the tools, and we'll take care of ourselves. We'll create the businesses. We have probably in Manitoba alone, Daryl, there's probably 1,000 Métis businesses. And all of them, again, are medium small. There's very, very few that's large. So when we look at the investments coming from Canada, we want to see a very robust economic investment coming from commitment from the parties.
So it's no secret that Trudeau government has been very good to the MMF. Are you concerned about a new party forming government?
Well, let me say this. They've not only been good to the Métis people, they've been good to First Nation and Inuit in this country. We've never seen, and I've been in politics a long time, and people say, "Well, David, you're just a liberal." No, I'm not. I supported Brian Mulroney. I'll say it publicly. Joe Clark. So those are people that actually had a lot of respect for the Métis people, as given as our mandate as a Métis government. So when you look at it, Chrétien, I wasn't very close to John Chrétien, but I was close to Paul Martin for one reason alone, because he supported the Métis Nation, and so does Trudeau. And he showed this by putting resources we've never seen in all their history, Daryl. We pay billions of dollars of taxes every year, billions, and we never see them return back to us. And that's the purpose of why we pay taxes. It's supposed to come back to you in some form or another. And we've never seen it generation after generation. Now we've been able to accumulate $3.4 billion commitment from Canada, from under the Trudeau government, for education, economic development, COVID, housing, and on and on and on. So we've made breakthroughs we've never seen in history, and it's making changes, Daryl, that it brought tears to our people's eyes because they've never seen anybody care for them. So I'm looking carefully to all parties. I've written to all parties, waiting for them to give them back with the response. Where do they stand when it comes to Métis? We have 400,000 population in Western Canada, and we do vote, Daryl. We come out in big numbers, and we will come out in big numbers in Manitoba.
And while we have you, President Chartrand, Indigenous leaders are planning to visit the Vatican this December to meet with the Pope about an apology for the Catholic Church's role in the residential school system. Assembly First Nations National Chief Roseanne Archibald says she will not be going on this trip. Are you still planning to go?
Oh, for sure. I respect her decision. That's her prerogative to make her decision on her political message. But from our message, the Métis want to make sure we sit down with the Pope. My objective, clearly, loud and clear, is to ask the Pope to come to this country. And I heard many First Nations at the same time also say they want the Pope to come here and apologize, not from the Papal or from St. Peter's coming out and apologizing, and we echo it across the ocean to our homes. We're hoping the Pope will come here. That'll be one of the fundamental things I'll be pushing. And again, we do have strong concerns from many of our citizens regarding the closures of our churches. The churches are slowly coming to an end in some of our villages, and our people really know that they need them. And so I'll be raising the question, where's the plan for the churches in our villages, in our communities, if the Vatican's not financially supporting them?
All right, President Chartrand, we'll leave it there. I want to thank you for taking a few minutes to speak with us today.
Well, thank you for the few minutes.